it's not easy being cool. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movie characters trying way too hard to be cool. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're singling out those characters in film who put a bit too much stock in what others think of them, and therefore go to great lengths to appear cool and fit in with peers. Oh, and just so you know, a spoiler alert might be in order. Number 10, James Franco, This Is the End.
Oh, you can't have the Milky Way. That's my Milky Way.
Actor, writer, director, and apocalypse survivor, Franco is thrown into the deep end in this movie when partygoers at his house are confronted by an apocalypse of biblical proportions and must fight for survival. Despite arguments between friends and a dwindling supply of food and water, Franco takes the lead and tries to keep things together.
I know how to handle it.
With his collection of booze and drugs, the ownership of a pistol, and an unfailing sense of humor, Franco tries to impress his friends even in the wake of imminent death. But not even blue beams of light or the promise of heaven can save him from himself.
You may not have invited me to your party, but you're the guest of honor at mine. What?
Number 9. Zach Mitchell, Jurassic World.
How big is the island?
Big.
What could possibly go wrong in a park filled with live dinosaurs? Well, for surly teenager Zach, it's just another babysitting job, as he has to follow his dorky little brother to keep an eye on him. He tries to make the most of the trip, flirting with girls around the park and basically ignoring poor Gray.
I know for a fact, it is definitely not out there, all right? Totally safe.
Of course, when the smart and terrifying Indominus Rex escapes, and it comes time for Zach to show his mettle, he proves that he can be a pretty great big brother after all. But that doesn't stop him from preferring to latch on to Raptor Whisperer Owen for safety.
This does not feel safe.
Number 8. Kylo Ren, Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
Look how old you've become.
The first of the sequels to the original Star Wars trilogy introduces us to Kylo Ren, the lightsaber-wielding, mask-wearing villain of the film. Having fallen to the dark side of the Force, Ren comes across as foreboding and ominous, able to stop a blaster bolt mid-air with the Force. But as the film progresses, this image of him disintegrates, as he frequently loses his temper and struggles to uphold the legacy of the great Darth Vader.
And I will finish what you started.
By the end, we see that he's just an angsty kid trying way too hard to intimidate people and keep his grasp on power.
Anything else?
Number 7. Cady Heron, Mean Girls.
I knew how this would be settled in the animal world.
When nerdy new girl Cady enrolls in a normal high school after being homeschooled in Africa all her life, it's nothing short of a culture shock. She has to learn to navigate her way through the jungle of unspoken rules and how to choose her friends wisely so she doesn't end up one of the losers. By chance, she falls into the world of the plastics, the pretty popular girls who rule the school.
So you've actually never been to a real school before? Shut up. Shut up!
In the ultimate attempt to seem cool, Cady imitates them so well that she eventually takes over from supreme mean girl Regina George, compromising friendships, morals, and her sense of self along the way.
Buddy, you're not pretending anymore. You're plastic. Cold, shiny, hard plastic.
Number 6. Draco Malfoy, the Harry Potter franchise.
Yes, you're not dangerous at all, are you? You great ugly brute.
Wealthy and pompous, Malfoy makes enemies of our favorite boy wizard Harry Potter very quickly. Everyone loves to hate the rich kid, and Malfoy, with his dull henchman and persistent snark, is no different. From the moment he's introduced, when he encourages Harry to choose his friends more wisely, to the end of the series when he succumbs to the powers of he who must not be named, Malfoy's just another kid who has to learn the hard way that daddy's money can't buy everything. Not even a hug and the approval from Lord Voldemort himself can erase the years of looking down his nose at the wizarding world's beloved hero.
Well done, Draco. Well done.
Number 5. Danny Zuko, Grease.
Summer loving had me a blast.
With his sleek hair, leather jacket, and his gang of cigarette-smoking, car-obsessed friends, Danny easily seems like the coolest guy at Rydell High. It isn't till Sandy, the girl he met over the summer break, starts at Rydell that Danny's image starts to unravel. Turns out he's all bravado and cockiness in front of his friends, but beneath his showing off, he's someone else. Trying to reconcile who his friends think he is with the guy Sandy knows he is, Danny finds himself stuck between those summer nights and that greased lightning. And boy do we love the awkward laugh and the strut when the facade drops and he scrambles to save face.
Oh, come on, I can run circles around those jerks.
Number 4, Kim Jong-Un, The Interview.
I cannot respond with anything less than the totality of my strength.
When talk show host Dave Skylark decides to interview North Korean leader Kim Jong-Un for his show, he is not prepared for how intense things get. First impressions are everything, and Kim, being a Dave Skylark superfan, makes sure Dave knows he's got the slickest duds, the nicest grocery stores, and the biggest tank this side of Pyongyang.
A tank! Yeah, tank.
Of course, Kim's not above intimidating those who would see him fail, and can scare the crap out of anyone who doubts his ability. But that doesn't mean he doesn't have his soft spots. After all, he cries when he hears Katy Perry's Firework. Or maybe it's just Skylark's singing that brings him to tears.
Jimmy, you're a firework! I don't need my father!
Number 3, Kipling Ronald Kip Dynamite, Napoleon Dynamite.
Napoleon, don't be jealous that I've been chatting online with babes all day.
Kipling Ronald Dynamite himself may not be the coolest guy on the block, but he sure tries to be. With his uncle Rico mentoring him on everything from women to football, Kip whiles away the hours training to be a cage fighter, or challenging Napoleon to beat him up, or talking to ladies through his computer.
We chat online for like 2 hours every day, so I guess you could say things are getting pretty serious.
Of course, that's where he meets LaFonda, and really starts making an effort to seem cool. Transforming himself into an early 2000s rapper, complete with chains, oversized clothes, and do-rag. Kip gets to ride into the sunset with his lady love for his efforts. Maybe Kip is the coolest guy in Preston, Idaho.
Peace out.
Number 2, Scott Pilgrim, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
You really think you stand a chance against an A-lister, bro?
Scott Pilgrim desperately wants to be with Ramona Flowers, but he has to defeat her 7 exes first, using only his wits and skills as a bassist. Sounds badass, right? Well, Scott is anything but. Scott's pretty content spending his days learning the bassline to Final Fantasy II, mooching off his way cooler roommate Wallace, and trying to show off his trivia knowledge by explaining the origins of Pac-Man.
Did you know that the original name for Pac-Man was Puck-Man?
However, once he meets the girl of his dreams, he does everything he can to impress her and seem cool. But based on the fact that he thinks the L word is lesbian, we'd say it's an uphill battle for him.
Because I'm in lesbians with you. What?
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
Come on, I'll race you.
Hi, hello, Lex, it is a pleasure. Ow! Wow, that is a good grip. You should not pick a fight with this person.
Number 1, Seth, Superbad.
Stop being a pussy and nail her, okay? You could bang her for like 2 months before you leave.
Seth is clearly insecure, but he masks it by throwing out insults, attempting to talk himself up, and dropping awkward jokes whenever he feels uncomfortable.
You said something earlier about like a fake ID or something, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna get one, for show. For show. I'm getting that for show.
He's tasked with bringing the booze to a big end-of-year party, and since he's always been kind of a loser, Seth is determined to make this party the highlight of his high school career. So he gets some help from his friend Fogel, who also tries too hard to impress others, in order to buy the alcohol. While the party's not all hookups with hot girls like he'd hoped, Seth manages to impress the cool kids enough to make sure that party isn't his last.
We made some kick-ass tiramisu earlier. It looked weird, but it was delicious.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.